BS in economics from University of Benin, and I'm also a alumni of the Harvard Business School. My background is, like I said, economics, and then of course I started off in, I guess, working in corporate America. Okay, basically as a sales and marketing representative for a regional distributor for AT&T Security Systems. After that, I left there and went into other, should I say, other institutions, working all the way from sales and marketing, to the financial services industry. I came back to Nigeria in 1994 to start a company called Ocean and Oil, which I was one of the 3 founding partners of the Ocean and Oil Group. We later on went on to acquire, the government's interest in Unipetrol in, I think, 1999 or 2000. Okay, then we did the acquisition of Ajip. 2 years later, we did a merger of those companies and rebranded to Owando PLC, which today is a vertically integrated, energy platform. Straddles all parts of the oil and gas industry. I left Owando in 2006. Okay, to start another business. I still remain on the board of Owando and also still one of the co-investors and shareholders in the Owando Group. In 2005, government, of course, advertised for the selling of the assets of the old NAFCON, which was a very interesting opportunity. I figured, and I've always felt, that the cultural sector has a lot to offer, and it's a very fragmented sector with really no dominant player. And the opportunity of buying the assets of NAFCON, okay, of course, was very interesting, and put together a team of international investors and as well as local investors. Okay, today we have a very broad-based shareholder group. We acquired the whole assets of NAFCON, and we've completed today the rehabilitation of the plant. Okay, so that basically gives you an insight into where we are today. So it's important to know that in Nigeria we consume over 5 million tons of rice. 3 million tons of rice is produced locally. But the rice produced locally, I can guarantee you will never make it to your dining table because of the very poor quality of rice. So we import over 2 million tons of rice into Nigeria. Somewhere between $1.5 to $2 billion worth of imports annually into Nigeria. I think it's also important to know, which a lot of people don't know, is that when we look at the consumption of rice profile in Nigeria, over the years, rice has continuously increased, while other staple foods like yams, cassava, and co have actually reduced over the years. Consumption of those have reduced. So rice is fast becoming the staple food in Nigeria. The reason for that, of course, is urbanization. As people move into urban areas, okay, the eating of rice is easier in terms of restaurants, bukas, and everything else around the place. So as population grows, it is expected that our population will double by 2050. So we anticipate that rice consumption in Nigeria will go from 5 million tons to over 7 to 8 million tons in the next 10 years. Now, if we're importing $1.5 to $2 billion worth of rice, our goal as Notore is to eliminate the dependency of rice importation by maximizing the utilization of locally grown rice, good quality locally grown rice, using the right type of grains or the right type of seeds, okay, to get the same long grain or short grain rice that actually will make it to your table or tables in the restaurants. Okay, so that is basically what our intention is. Subsidies is a very touchy very touchy subject. my personal view, I'm going to call it a personal view, has always been that subsidies are not required at the input level, maybe except to just create the momentum. Okay, because from a commercially minded position, okay, farming can make sense. Let me go back to my simple example. A farmer today is producing 10 bags of rice. A bag of rice costs about 6,000 naira in the marketplace.
9,000.
Okay. If we can get him to go from 10 bags of rice to 100 bags of rice with an investment in fertilizer and seeds of the equivalent of 6 bags of rice, his net gain is 84 bags of rice. By using 4 bags of fertilizers, which is 200 kilograms of fertilizers, all right, per hectare. By using 2 bags of seeds, let's assume that they have the same value as the price of of rice, but actually they're actually lower than the price of rice anyway, so there's much more upside. The farmer's gain is 86 bags of rice just by utilizing best practices. Once the farmer switches on to that commercial mindset, he doesn't need subsidies. Where the subsidies should come should probably be at the output level, in the sense that we have an explosion of crop output. We need to guarantee that all that farmers yield is taken at a price that makes sense to the farmer. So in the event that there's excess production, then government can step in and help buy that to actually feed some of his strategic reserves, grain strategic reserves that he has across the country. So that's where the subsidy should be applied. As long as the farmer knows he will continue to have an outlet, and that's one outlet that Notore Foods provides for specific types of crops, rice, corn in the first instance, and later on we'll go to sorghum, okay, and possibly cassava in the future. Subsidies in the actual sense, okay, never really gets to the farmer. When Notore carried out his own marketing survey at first, we saw that 30% of fertilizers that come into the country actually go into the market through commercial channels. 70% goes to government. We found out that 70% of what goes to government actually ends back in the commercial channels. So the farmer doesn't really get the full impact of subsidies. There are new programs that are working on right now. Taraba State, I must say, okay, working with Notore, okay, has actually created one of the first voucher systems in this country. And we hope to spread that across the entire nation. We call those smart or direct subsidies. Those are subsidies that actually make sense. Where the farmer has a voucher, he goes to any Notore store or any fertilizer shop anywhere in the country or in the state. If the government subsidy is 50% and a bag of fertilizer is 5,000 naira, he pays 2,500 naira and presents a voucher for 2,500 naira. The Notore distributor takes the voucher and the cash and then redeems the voucher at any bank that has been nominated by the state government. That way, the farmer gets the direct benefit of the subsidy. That is required in the short term to help him transition to becoming a farmer, maximizing his yield, maximizing his yields per hectare. Thereafter, subsidies should stop and head in, okay, into the output market. In 10 years' time, we want people to say about Notore that they are happy that a company like Notore came about and that Notore delivered on its promise, which is exactly what is driving the brand, that we delivered on our promise, okay, and that is to help Nigeria and our region be self-sufficient in food production and be a net exporter of food, creating wealth, of course, okay, and impacting positively on the GDP of Nigeria and other countries in our region.